Duke and North Carolina, another classic game. Another classic game. I thought we were sleeping there for a second there, but we're not. We're up live. Duke and North Carolina going down to the wire. You know Duke would love nothing more than to send a message to North Carolina, final game of the regular season, sweep the season series, especially considering what happened last year.
You know, I was thinking, after everything that happened last year and the talk about this rivalry is over, not really over, but that phase is forever done. If ever there could be a way to give Duke some semblance of pride, it would be for Jon Scheyer in his first season to not lose a game at home and to sweep North Carolina. Preseason #1 team North Carolina, and that's exactly what we got. Now, for the second time this season, a Duke-UNC game was not the most cosmetically appealing situation we had out there, but the win is the win at this point. And I gotta say, Jeremy Roach made a big-time play late, no doubt about it, was huge. UNC got a shot from Caleb Love late. I would have rather had RJ Davis. I understand the way the play unfolded. I would have schemed better to try and get Davis to have the shot. He is the one who has hit a ton of big shots over the course of his career. Didn't happen for UNC. And so here we are. Carolina, you need to at least make the ACC tournament title game, in my opinion, for us to reconvene and consider your at-large case. Anything shy of that, you're just not going to have enough protein on the resume to justify inclusion to the NCAA tournament, which means you're on the verge of history. No team ranked #1 in the preseason since the tournament expanded in 1985 has gone on to miss the big dance, but UNC is dangerously flirting with that very thing right now. We will see if Carolina can find some magic in the ACC tournament bracket, because certainly it has been missing that for the majority of this season, Hakeem.
Yeah, North Carolina right now currently on the first 4 out, according to Jerry Palm, and they'd make history in doing so. When you look at Duke, and this is a very young team, you got Roach as one of the lone veterans on the team in the starting lineup, but this is a team made up of young freshmen. What is their ceiling in terms of in the tournament? Is this a team that you go, they're kind of playing with the cliche house money situation? Is this a team you think that's deep enough could get to the second or third weekend?
Can get to the second weekend. It is a house money situation. Duke, it's been a solid team, but not a great team all season long. I've maintained that here on HQ since November. I said that Jon Scheyer would have a good, not great first season, and Duke would just kind of be among the 15 to 25 best teams. That's still what Duke is. It has the talent to make a second weekend run. We'll see. I honestly think Duke's variance, once we get to the big dance, is first a one and done, not even winning its first round game. Or there's enough here if you got the right draw to make a Final Four. There's been much worse teams that have made a Final Four than what Duke's comprised with on the roster this season. So that's big picture stuff. Right now, Jon Scheyer is going to bask in the fact that he opened his career by sweeping UNC in the regular season in year 1. And he's done a lot of things as a first-year coach. No one's ever won more games as a first-year coach at Duke than Jon Scheyer. He's on pace to win more games in his first year as an ACC coach than any coach in history. He, in terms of debuting for the first time as a head coach. So Duke is a quality team. I actually see the projection. That's a 6 seed coming into the day. Duke, with this win, has validation to be on the 5 line, Hakeem, and it will certainly be an intriguing team and is obviously a danger to others in that bracket to win the ACC tournament outright.
You know what number or statistic that stood out to me on that full screen TV jargon? 1-9 in quad 1 games. North Carolina 1-9. They lost their first 8. They lose a quad 1 game here on the final Saturday of the regular season. To me, they're not good enough to be in the field of 64, field of 68. I mean, to me, their resume, they are what they are. I mean, unless they run the table here, and we've seen crazy things the last 2 ACC tournaments. It's not out of the question to think that maybe they go on a run here, but this team doesn't look like a tournament team. I mean, consider, because they were on fire, right, to finish last year, to get into the tournament, and then they make a run all the way to the national championship. This looks different. This doesn't look the same.
Yeah, there's been something about this team the whole season long. I saw them in person in Portland at the PK 85, and they just didn't have the kind of urgency, collective togetherness that I expected them to have, and frankly thought that they would that they would garner and bring to the table by the time we got to Christmas and then maybe January. And yeah, there have been a few moments earlier this season when North Carolina has really been in a tight spot and needed to get a win in order to even get us to this point where it was playing to be in the field on today, but not the case. And so a lot of the players that played, the veterans, it was their senior night. They have eligibility to come back next season. I just can't help but wonder if it's not a better thing for UNC if a page is entirely turned and we don't see the likes of, some will be back, but like Armando Bacot, will he come back? Leaky Black, he's done. Caleb Love, will he come back? He was the one who took the longest to decide. UNC, it has been just an opera this season in terms of the dramatics of what they have not been able to do. Home floor couldn't get it done on Saturday night, and so now they are in as desperate of a mode as they've been the entire season.
All right, much more ahead here with Matt Norlander on CBS Sports HQ, and you can get much more with him on his podcast, the Ion College Basketball Podcast, with Gary Parrish delivering insider commentary. Whole lot of fun. They'll have a fantastic wrap-up of the final weekend of the regular season on Sunday. The Ion College Basketball Podcast. Download and follow today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.